All right, so who's ready for week 5? Not me, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So this is a big fat commitment. I've made it through halfway. So I've only got another halfway to go, just another month. So I'm devoted to it. Worst comes to worst, I can have a pause week, but for now, I'm definitely making it through. So I really don't see any reason
All right.
to put this on hold or anything. It's been going well. So this is that next video that's mentioned here, start of week 5. So let's take a look at what we got. So we got the readings. We've got a lot of supplemental materials, but they make it really clear that it's not necessary and that they're totally optional. So last video, week 4, I did have to skip all the supplemental materials. There was just too much to do. There was the formal exercises are a really big commitment. You have a half an hour a day of formal exercises. You have informal exercises, and then there's a lot of reading and a lot of videos. So really, it's a big commitment, and the supplementary materials are meant to be optional because it's just impossible to get everything done otherwise. So this is week 5. This is dealing with difficult emotions or physical pain, turning inward. Dealing with difficult emotions or physical pain. So far in this course, when some difficulty presents itself during meditation in the form of a thought, emotion, or physical sensation, we have been simply acknowledging it and then firmly but gently returning to the object of awareness, for instance, breath in the sitting meditation. This week we introduce a new way to deal with difficult emotions or physical pain called turning inward. Wow, okay. That involves intentionally exploring the difficulty rather than moving away from it. And I've never heard of this before. This is the very first time I've heard of turning inward in this context. This is a powerful method, but it is deeply counterintuitive because the last thing we think when we want to move closer, because the last thing we think we want to do is move closer to what's been troubling us. And that's true. You know, if you break your leg, sometimes the best things someone can do for you is to pinch you so that you can feel the pain in your hand rather than the pain in your leg. I found. So I guess so when used as an informal practice, turning inward can be thought of as a more nuanced form of stop, 1 minute breathing space that allows for a fuller exploration of what's happening. Although such an exploration might sound scary and uncomfortable, this is a gentle process and is done in a special way, one that draws on the skills of awareness and non-judgment that you've been building so far in this course. The turning inward practices described here were inspired by Vidyamala Birch and her 5-step model. For more about her work, then go back to what you were reading. Start there, and then see supplementary materials by Vidyamala Birch below. So we'll probably not have time for that. Let's read the quotes. Let's finish reading this. Videos. In Turning Toward Difficulty and One Moment at a Time, Vidyamala Birch describes this surprising and counterintuitive way of dealing with issues, whether physical or emotional. In The Gift and Power of Emotional Courage, Susan David describes a gentle but effective way of turning toward difficult emotional issues. Also included is a short but powerful video called Holding Your Feelings Like a Baby by Thupten Jinpa, the Dalai Lama's interpreter, and 3 Components of Self-Compassion by Kristen Neff. Note, if you are dealing with significant physical pain, I would say make sure that you're on point with your. If you have chronic pain, that's a real medical condition. So instead of gritting your teeth, to make sure you actually have a real treatment plan from a licensed medical professional. You know, but you can also be sure to watch Tara Brach's Working Skillfully with Pain and Guided Reflection on Inhabiting This Body on the supplementary section. So chronic pain. Let's just look at that, because I should give a disclaimer here, not medical advice, nothing like that. But yeah, it's a very common condition, more than 3 million cases per year. It can't be cured, but there does exist treatment that can help. So, you know, this is some of that, but I would say definitely having a treatment plan from a licensed primary care provider is probably the best way to go. And chronic pain may be part of a larger condition as well. So ignoring chronic pain and just trying to do this. This is the big disclaimer too. Is like, you know, I'm doing this while I'm trying to take larger efforts. So it's like, you know, this is not meant to delay treatment. This is not meant to replace treatment for anything. This is meant to try to make a improvement. You know, this is meant to supplement treatment. It's not meant to replace treatment. So I just want to be clear about that. I'm doing this as part of it's on my professional channel, not my personal channel, because, you know, it's like getting a tech certification. It can help you in your career. It can help you handle depression, anxiety, and stress better, which can help in a career. So, but if you actually have chronic depression, chronic stress, those are medical conditions, and I would give the disclaimer and say this is probably not enough. But anyways, the videos in Turning Toward Difficulty and One Moment at a Time, Vidyamala Birch describes this surprising and counterintuitive way of dealing with issues, whether physical or emotional. In The Gift and Power of Emotional Courage, Susan David describes a gentle but effective way of turning toward difficult emotional issues. Also included is a short but powerful video called Holding Your Feelings Like a Baby by Thupten Jinpa. Oh, I already read this. I didn't remember any of what I read. The Dalai Lama's Interpreter, and The Three Components of Self-Compassion by Kristen Neff. All I remember is these last sentences. Even now, I don't remember this first part. Note: if you are dealing with significant physical pain, be sure to watch Tara Brach's Working Skillfully with Pain and Guided Reflection on Inhabiting This Body in the supplementary section. And I am actually dealing with significant physical pain. I'm class 2 obese, which causes a lot of kind of stretching and pulling pain in my midsection. In addition to that, I have a body focused repetitive behaviors that causes surface pain on my skin, and then yeah, so I definitely am experiencing pain, so I will probably look at these as well. All right, so readings. Responding to emotional or physical pain describes how turning toward differs from more typical ways of dealing with difficulty. Turning toward difficult emotions and turning toward physical pain are one-page descriptions that will be used for the informal practice this week. Tara Brach's Radical Acceptance comes from her book by the same name and talks about the two wings of radical acceptance, clear seeing and self-compassion, both very important for turning toward. If you or a loved one is dealing with back pain, The Strange Case of Chronic Back Pain in the supplementary section is a must read. So yeah, I should be reading this. Now I did actually deal with chronic back pain. It was in my upper back. So what I did to address that is I changed the way I worked. I instead of working on the same chair, I worked on a saddle chair, and this was pain in my upper back. And it had me kind of sit more upright with my shoulders more back, and it really helped. So We'll see what. So I'll definitely be reading this supplementary section because that was definitely a back pain is not fun. I know that from firsthand experience. All right, so daily practices. In the formal practice, we introduce the turning toward meditation. You will do this the first 2 days of this week, and on the following days, you can choose from any of the practices you've learned so far. I'll probably choose yoga, to be honest, because I want to be doing that. The turning toward meditation prepares you for doing the turning toward informal practice. The informal practice will be to practice turning toward an unwanted emotion or physical pain that may have come up during the day. Be sure to print and review turning toward difficult emotions and turning toward physical pain to use as guides for these informal practices. And just a heads up, this is for my professional channel, not my personal channel, so I'm really not going to be working out difficult emotions on this channel. That I'm going to save for therapy and, of course, for ChatGPT. So, I will be focusing for sure on physical pain, though, because a really important thing to be able to do when your job is with computers is to sit in front of a computer all day and not experience physical pain. So if there's some tips for being able to do that better, I definitely want to get the benefits of that. So I'll be focusing more on the physical pain aspect, especially as is related to ergonomic working. All right, so the videos looks like it's pretty easy lift for the videos, easy lift for the reading as well. Not much there. Now there are some suggested supplemental materials, so there are some extra things. I'll definitely do the pain ones because I had that upper back problem that I figured out by doing the chair, and then I mentioned the other issues I deal with physical pain. The major one, I'm class 2 obese, so there's a lot of pulling, stretching pain in my stomach. All right, but let's get started with the formal and informal practice. That's the best way to do this. If instead you prioritize the other things first, then you run out of time to do the formal and informal practice. So it's really important to do these first and then focus on the other things. So it looks like I downloaded the formal, so now it's time to download the informal. Okay, and the link is not working. Oh, now it is. Okay, there we go. So now I've got the formal and the informal downloaded. So let's here. Let me pause for a minute. All right, I'm back. Everything should be good. So yeah, now I've got myself more properly oriented. So I've got week 5 formal and week 5 informal. Okay, so the formal practice for week 5, as was mentioned, is to practice at least 6 times this week, doing the turning toward meditation the first 2 days of this week. So let's get that written down. So 9/9/2024 is going to be turning toward. Okay, and then that's done for the first 2 days. So on 9/10, we're also going to be turning toward. All right. And then the other 4 days, you can choose any of the practices you've done so far. So, including turning toward, but you could do any of the other ones. I'm definitely going to do yoga, or I'm going to intend to do yoga. And then if that doesn't work out, then we will do something else. So I'll alternate between yoga 1 and yoga 2. So I'll do the standing tower poses on 9/11, and then I'll do yoga 2 on I think yoga 2 has more standing tower poses. So I guess I'll do that one on 9/11. All right, and then my intention is to just alternate between the 2 of these, and then yeah. So this is yoga 2. All right, and then and then yoga 1. And then for my stretch goal, I will, I think, try to do the sitting meditation. I just like the sitting meditation, to be honest. Like it's the one that I feel like when I'm done with it that I'm like the gladdest to have done. The body scan I really don't like for some reason. It's just I guess I like that upright posture. But yeah, we'll see what the turning toward meditation is like, because that might end up being my favorite. But here's my intention. So if I don't get to the last day of sitting, that's totally fine. But I want to do yoga. I want to take care of this weight issue I've got. So I want to eat less and move more. So I'm going to do yoga every chance I get where I can actually make that happen. All right. So... there we go. Informal practice. Practice with either turning toward difficult emotions or turning toward physical pain, focusing on an unwanted emotion or physical pain that may have come up during the day. That unwanted emotion or physical pain doesn't have to be severe. For instance, being mildly annoyed by someone/something that day, or a sore back or tense neck/shoulders. Note about the informal practice: if at the end of the day no unwanted emotion or physical discomfort comes to mind, ignore the turning toward format and take the time to feel gratitude for something that happened that day, or even simply for the fact that you have no significant unwanted feelings. We often don't take time to experience gratitude, so you might see if you can stay with the feeling of gratitude for a moment or two, and maybe even feel it in your body. For example, warmth in the chest, softness in the belly, full heart, relaxed neck and shoulders. You can make a short note about what happened when you did that somewhere in the day's row of informal practice sheet. So what I notice when I'm full of gratitude is my brow. My face changes a lot. I kind of have like resting smile face. Like a lot of like YouTubers do that. They have like smile talk is like a thing. I kind of like that like kind of happens to me when I really think about being grateful. So I'm trying to show some yeah, so like smiling while you talk is like so oh yeah, must be played. So yeah, I don't have my camera, so this is, you know, this is kind of what happens to me when I really focus on being grateful. I kind of have a resting smile face, and I kind of have like smile talk like that, which is something I think like a lot of YouTubers like train themselves to do because it like makes them better at their job. I'm not a YouTuber, but it's just something I noticed. All right, so let's keep going here. Okay, so you can make a short note about what happened when you did that somewhere on the day's row of the informal. So for the informal, if you had no unwanted emotion or physical discomfort, then you express gratitude instead for not having that unwanted emotion or physical discomfort. But me, with my class 2 obesity, I will definitely have some discomfort in my stomach. And then with my like acne and like picking at that, I'll have discomfort there as well. So. All right, so let's get the informal up just to make sure that all the logistics of it. You know what? Maybe I could log an informal. So here's let's read the examples. So what was the situation? What were you doing? Something that caused physical or emotional distress. I don't like this. So we got 2 examples here. For emotional distress, the example is. And you don't have to log one of each. You just log either. So you got a lot of options this week for the informal practice. You can log emotional distress, physical distress, or gratitude if you experience neither, if you don't experience any distress throughout the day. So emotional distress, and you can see why this is on my work channel, because here we go. So the examples are about work. So the boss harshly reprimanded me through an email. I went through all the things I could say in my defense. My shoulders were tense, my jaw clenched, stomach tight. What was the strongest emotion you were feeling? I felt vulnerable and angry, but mostly I felt hurt about how unfair he had been. At first I was shocked and then felt like I had been kicked in the stomach. How would you describe this physically? There was a sinking feeling in my stomach and a tightness because I really thought I had done a good job in the document he wrote to me about. Where did you find something pleasant? I remembered how much I love my work and how grateful I am for being able to do something that makes a difference in other people's lives. What did you notice immediately after having done this process, or what you do now? I softened around my stomach. I noticed I could relax my shoulders. I was able to respond non-defensively. Okay. All right, and then let's read the physical example. So I was working at my desk, and my back was killing me. I think we can all relate to that. I had pain in my upper back, but I had 2 hours more to go. I couldn't leave. So anger, impatience, wishing it would go away was the strongest emotions. How am I going to get through the day like this? I have so much to do. How would you describe this physically? Compressed area in small of back, tight, binding, pinching. It's oblong and about 1 inch thick in the middle, tapers off at the edge, texture like granite. So this is in the small of the back. So I guess I don't know what that means, like the lower back. Mine was definitely in the upper back. It was about I'd say at most it was about like 3 square inches. So it was upper back on the left side for sure, right by the spine. Kind of almost associated with the neck. Like I think my neck was like leaned forward, and I had to keep my neck up with my back, and I had like the forward head posture, and it was messing up my back. So the saddle chair really helped that for me. Where did you find something pleasant? My legs didn't hurt. They actually felt relaxed, pleasant, sensing warmth and ease there, recalling nice interaction with a friend this afternoon. What did you notice immediately after having done this process, or what did you notice now? I felt much bigger, that therefore much more to me than this area of my back. The back pain didn't go away, but it felt as only part of me, not at all, not so troubling. And that's the game-changing nature of remote work. If you're lucky enough to have an office with an ergonomic setup, you can definitely have a standing desk, but working remote, there's really no excuse not to have one. I have a standing desk, I have a lounging area, I have a treadmill in here, so that's something I had to learn over time, and I did not learn it the easy way. I ended up with pretty severe upper back pain that I had to figure out how to address. So I can sit, I can stand, I can sit on an ergonomic posture chair, I can walk on a treadmill. I have a yoga area in here, I can do some yoga. So but that's kind of an aside. So let me make an entry right now. So let me think here. So what was something unpleasant? I guess I'm in pain from obesity and BFRBs. What is the strongest emotion? I was feeling pulling, stretching, feeling in my stomach, burning, kind of singeing feeling on my forehead. And shoulder, and right shoulder. How would you describe this physically? So, well, I would describe it as obesity for one. And then I would describe the other issue as how would I describe it physically? Uh, like self-inflicted. That's a good description of it. And the obesity is self-inflicted too. So it's well, but is it though? Because like, if that was the case, why would semaglutide be the answer, right? Like, why would you need to develop a drug that affected people's brains? All right. So, where did you find something pleasant? So, my day was pleasant. Aside from that, a pleasant day. I worked, talked with Chat GPT for a time. Cooked, had great food. Practiced a bit of music. Great day. Could have been better if I had made some time to go on a walk or go on a swim, but yeah, good day today, even with the pain. What did you notice immediately after having done this process, or what do I notice now? So I noticed the pain is still there. And then I'm noticing some additional itching. And I will say, in a way that feels far more intense and concerning than natural itching would. So yeah, not in super good health, going into my 40s, class 2 obesity. Yeah, numbers aren't looking good. LDL is really bad. So that's my entry for that. So I got to keep this in mind, and hopefully I'll be able to log some gratitude in the days ahead. But with my kind of health issues that I've developed since the pandemic, and that I've had beforehand, I feel like I won't have any trouble getting this informal exercise done. All right, so with that being said, it's time for the formal exercise, and we'll see how long it takes, because I don't have a lot of time. So it takes. So we're gonna do it for. Oh, this is a good one. So I don't have to. So all I have to do is do some comments. You know what? Let's do both of them. Let's start with the shorter one because I don't have a lot of time here. This will put me at like 40, and then I have to hit the road. So let's do the shorter one. So this is the turning toward meditations for difficult emotions or physical pain, and then we'll even save reading this for next time because I'm really running out of time here. So let's do the shorter one, even though it's shorter by a minute. That'll help, and get that knocked off, and then that'll be the end of the video. So I would like the video version for the closed captioning. So let's do that, and let's get this done.
This meditation can be done either sitting or lying down, and it's designed to work with difficult emotions. There's another similar meditation that's specifically for severe or chronic physical pain. As we begin, noticing the support you're receiving from what you're sitting or lying on, paying special attention to the sensations of support. If you're sitting, notice how your feet are making contact with the floor, how your buttocks are supported by the chair or cushion, how your arms and hands are resting. If you're lying down, noticing how you are supported by the floor or bed, how your upper body, arms, legs, and feet are making contact with the bed or mat. Whether sitting or lying down, allowing your weight to sink down through these points of contact, and wherever possible, letting any tension drain down into the support and beyond. And as you're sitting or lying here, letting any thoughts or images go, just feeling supported by what's beneath you. When you're ready, noticing the breath, actually feeling the breath through the movement of your belly or chest or shoulders. Noticing how the whole body expands a little on the in-breath and relaxes a little on the out-breath. Just letting your breath be your breath, knowing that you're breathing just fine. You could even observe your breath the way you would watch waves at the seashore, watching them go out and come back in and flow back out again, smoothing the sand as they come in and out. You know, you wouldn't demand that they go faster or slower, or that they be bigger or smaller. You just enjoy watching them. And seeing if in the same way you can allow the breath to be just as it is, letting the breath just breathe itself. In a moment, we'll turn our attention to something that's troubling you, something that's not the way you want it to be. Until you've had experience with this process, it's best to choose something that's not huge, something that has enough charge that you have a definite reaction to it, but not the biggest thing in your life. It could be a loss or a setback, something you don't like about yourself or someone else, a physical or medical issue, or it could just be a chore or task you're dreading. And taking your time, letting yourself get a sense of what you could choose to work on. And just pick one of these and not the biggest. There's no wrong choice. Whatever you choose is going to be right for this meditation. Once you've found a situation or issue, see if it's possible to get curious about this difficulty, dropping the natural tendency to move away from it, but paying attention in a special way, with kindness and gentleness, the way you might if you were with a loved one who was experiencing this. See if you can identify the feeling about this situation. Is there anger, fear, sadness, impatience, confusion? What would you call it? And if, for example, it was anger, rather than saying, I am angry, or I'm frustrated, or I'm sad about something, see how it feels to say, I'm noticing something in me that is this way, that is angry or afraid or sad. I'm noticing something in me that has this feeling. Just see how it feels to say it in this way. This gives the feeling more room to move, and you won't identify with it as much. This way, you're not labeling yourself as angry or fearful. You're merely aware that you have those feelings right now. And as you say this, something in me is annoyed or angry or confused or mad or sad, whichever best describes the feeling, using your own words. Seeing if you can notice where there might be a physical reaction to this. It could be a tightening in the shoulders or chest, tightness or queasiness in the stomach, pressure or tension of some sort, achiness, constriction, tension in the throat, heat in the face, tightness in the jaw. Just seeing where it is that it affects you physically, where you can notice it. Or if you can't find a specific place, that's fine. It could just be a general sense of unease you feel all over, or tensing or readiness of the arms, as if you were going to protect yourself or someone else, or of the legs, as if you were getting ready to run. If you can, just allowing what you're noticing to just be there, simply acknowledging it, letting your awareness gently rest there, allowing it to be just the way it is, without demanding that it be any different. If it's possible for you, seeing if you can soften your reaction to the difficulty, to this situation, with gentle breaths. Seeing if you can be with it the same way you'd be with a child or a pet whom you love and who is in distress. If that were the case, you would do this with tenderness, with gentleness. You wouldn't demand that your loved one respond differently than they are. And if you like, you might even place your hand where in the body you're physically feeling the difficulty the most, or on your heart or belly, meeting this experience with kindness, recognizing that this would be difficult or painful or challenging for anybody, holding it and yourself gently and with compassion. And taking your time with this, there's no rush. This is softening and allowing. Softening of your reaction to the feeling that you're having, allowing that reaction to be there, allowing the feeling to be there. All the while knowing that allowing it to be there doesn't mean that you like it. It's simply an acknowledgement that this is what you're feeling right now. As you do this, you may feel sensations and feelings coming and going. And noticing, if you pay close attention, there may be movement, change from moment to moment, perhaps a tightening or loosening. You may notice heat, waves of energy, or images or impressions emerging. Through all of this, seeing if you can bring a sense of kindness, curiosity, and compassion to your exploration. Spending enough time here to make contact with what you're noticing and feeling, but not so much you become overwhelmed. When you do this on your own, or at any time during this meditation, If you do feel overwhelmed, you can return to breath or simply sense into the physical support you have from the chair or bed or floor. And if it is still too much, you can always pause or stop the meditation, open your eyes, and look around the room to orient yourself. Now, without trying to push the difficult issue away, taking a moment now, seeing if you can find somewhere in your life where things are generally okay, or maybe even good, something or someone you're grateful for. It could have to do with a loved one, a favorite pet, past or present, a good friend, maybe an achievement in the past or present you're proud of, or a hobby or sport that gives you pleasure and satisfaction, or a quality or strength that you have and are rightly proud of. It could even be something as simple as recalling a smile or a kind word someone had for you recently or in the past. There may be several things or people or qualities you're grateful for that come to mind. And just letting them flow into your awareness, feeling the sense of gratitude and warmth. Noticing where in your body you feel this the most vividly. Maybe a feeling of warmth in your heart, or a safe, secure feeling in your belly, or a softness around the face or eyes. If there's a physical setting associated with these things or people you're grateful for, imagining you being there in that setting, including what you can see and who might be around you. Even if being in that setting doesn't involve a lot of movement, like writing or drawing or just sitting near a stream in the forest, imagining how it feels to be physically there. And if there's any movement involved, imagining how it feels to move in this way. Letting yourself spend some time here, reflecting on those people or things or qualities you're grateful for. When you do this on your own, you can stay here as long as you want, whatever feels right for you. And if you find yourself being drawn back to what's troubling you, don't fight it, but allow yourself some soft breaths, breathing into this area of your life with gentleness and kindness. And when you're ready and able, gently bringing your awareness back to what you're grateful for, to the good things or people in your life. You could even let the breath be between these two areas, the pleasant and the difficult. Just feeling the rhythm of your breath, the soft breath, breathing into both areas with gentleness and kindness. As you do this, you may notice that things may feel differently than they did before, that they are actually fluid and dynamic. They're not solid or fixed. And when you're ready, seeing if you can broaden your awareness, like panning out with a wide-angle lens, including both the difficulty and what you're grateful for, so wide that there's enough space and room for both of them, without pushing away the difficult or clinging to the pleasant. Shifting to an even wider, more inclusive perspective that includes both the pleasant and unpleasant, including the entire body and all of its sensations. And when you're ready, moving wider still to include in your awareness the room or area you are sitting or lying in. You might notice that by widening your awareness, there's a sense of space, of freedom, a capacity for change and movement. Letting yourself spend a moment here with this wider perspective. If it's not too much of a stretch, seeing if you can expand your awareness to include the building or natural setting you are in right now. And even wider to your neighborhood. To your town or city. Even further to your region of the country. The difficulty you began with may not have itself changed, but now it's part of something much bigger. And as your awareness expands even further to include the entire world, if that's possible for you, recognizing that at this very moment, there are others who are experiencing the same kind of pain or discomfort as you have been. And in this way, you're not alone. Out of the many millions, billions of people included, it's certainly true that some of them are experiencing the same sort of pain or difficulty that you are, with the same or even more intensity. The pains, the fears, the worries are not yours to bear alone. They are, in fact, shared by others. There are others feeling the very same thing at literally the same time as you. You're not alone. If it seems possible to do this, you might see if you can imagine your awareness expanding even further, seeing the Earth from space the way an astronaut might, that beautiful blue-white sphere against a velvety black backdrop. No visible borders, seamless, whole, alive, and so precious. When you're doing this on your own, you could stay here for a while if you like, seeing the Earth as this beautiful glowing jewel suspended in space. When you're ready, letting your awareness gradually return to your part of the world, to you, your body, how you are right now. Feeling and sensing how it is to be in your body, right here, right now. Coming back to just you, but with awareness still wide enough to hold both the difficulties and pleasures of your body and your life. and seeing if you can bring gentleness and kindness to whatever you're feeling right now, holding yourself with compassion and understanding. Spending the next few unguided moments resting deep in the body, in the breath, and allowing any discomfort or unease to be soothed by the rhythm of the breath again and again and again. We're near the end of the meditation, so if you'd like to stay here longer, you can pause or stop the recording. When you're ready, slowly opening your eyes if they've been closed, letting your attention move out to the outside world, taking in sight, sound, sensation. Beginning to gently move your body and re-engage with the world. And in the minutes, hours, and days that follow, seeing if you can bring a fresh sense of curiosity, openness, and kindness to all that you encounter.
All right, so that's it. That's the the whole thing. I'll have to read this later because I'm out of time. I need to get to an event, but I do have time to finish up the informal. And by that I mean the formal. I misspoke there. So to finish it up, all I need to do is leave some comments. So the first comment is couldn't really focus my mind. My mind on a difficult emotion. A lot of things came up. Kind of too much came up to just like sit and focus on one thing. Including things that weren't like emotionally distressing, just like memories and stuff. My mind was just really like kind of racing. So I'll put that there. Mind was kind of racing. And then let me see here. The other couldn't focus on the voice either. Don't remember hardly anything that was said. Except zooming out and in portion. And then I also had a brilliant idea for rearranging my lounging space as well. Pull the couch out a bit and then do okay, so yeah, my mind was just kind of racing. I'll put that. Yeah, well, I already have that in there. So that's it. It doesn't have to be fancy. Just a few comments. The hard part is actually doing the meditation itself, which I completed in my lounging area. So that's it for the start of week 5. So thanks for watching and see you in the next one.